Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about one of my all-time favorite teams in comics, movies, TV shows, in pretty much any media across the board. And that, of course, is the Teen Titans, or Titans, which I will talk about a little bit further into my video. So for a couple of months now, there has been a rumoured Teen Titans movie in progress at DC Studios under James Gunn's DCEU, and this has had me very excited since the moment I heard about this, because as I said, it's my favourite team. It's got most of my favourite characters in it, and I just can't wait to see a movie based on these characters. I really love the Titans show. I know a lot of people say the writing isn't amazing, but I think some of the suits are absolutely phenomenal. I love the stories, I love the casting, so I can make up for bad writing here and there. I don't think it was all around so terrible that the whole time you're watching it, it's Riverdale level type of show. So I can forgive a lot. And of course, Teen Titans back in the day in 2003 was absolutely amazing, and that's what first introduced me to most of these characters and grew my love for them. And even now, my son watches Teen Titans Go, and I know a lot of people again talk a lot of shit about it. I honestly don't think it's that bad, and as long as it's bringing fans into the DC universe, I'll take it. I'm not fussed. But anyway, those aren't the Titans that we're here to talk about. So in today's video, I'm going to go through a few topics on things that I think are going to come up, whether that be lineup, story, villains, and something I like to call misdirection, and that is where I'm going to start. Now when I say misdirection, I'm not speaking of the art of it or magic of any sort. I'm talking about the simple fact that I believe James Gunn and DC Studios are trying to misdirect the audience in calling it a Teen Titans movie. Now before I go any further, I do know that it hasn't officially been confirmed, but there's been a lot of rumours as well as articles that seem to have evidence that it's going to happen. And we all know James Gunn, he hasn't outright said it's not happening, so most of us believe it is happening in a certain way. And here is where my misdirection comes in. James doesn't tend to confirm or deny anything if it's not 100% accurate or 100% false. He will sometimes say, well, that's not 100% the truth, but I don't think anyone's really got that close to seeing what this film's about. I personally think this film isn't going to be about the Teen Titans of now. I think it's actually going to be the Teen Titans of the past in the DC universe, and what the film's actually going to be titled is Titans. I think the reason that this hasn't come out in the rumours yet is because maybe he's not let this slip yet, and hopefully it is a movie hidden within a movie. I'm really hoping that we get a classic Teen Titans team. Obviously I'm going to go more into the lineup in that segment, but I would like to just talk about the fact of, in the comics, I think having two teams very similar named, Teen Titans and Titans, is absolutely fine, and if you're reading comic books, you're probably fine with it because it's comics, they're wild, they're weird, and everyone just gets on with it. I mean, there's two Flashes, two Aquamans, two Supermans, it's probably 5 Wonder Womans. There's literally 2 of everything in the DC universe, and we just accept it because it is normal, especially for Aqualad. Like, you can't be pushing 30 and still be called Aqualad, so it just makes sense. Whereas in the movies, I think if you have 2 teams very similar name like that, one is just the keen-friendly version of it, I think people are going to think that's lazy and just like you couldn't be bothered to come up with a team even though it is accurate. So I personally think it would actually make more sense if the Teen Titans are actually called Young Justice, which of course is a TV show as well as an actual team in the comics, and I think that team should be exactly what it is in the comics. That of course is Robin, Tim Drake, Superboy, Connor Kent, Wonder Girl, Cassie Sandsmarks, and of course Impulse, Bart Allen. There can also be other characters that do show up within that comic book, but those are like the main 4. And of course we have my boy Shola as Blue Beetle, and I think this would be perfect for him to be in it. Now I don't think this is the movie they're making though, and I will hopefully come back to this in another video. I think it's a misdirection because they are making Titans, and I think they're going to focus on the new Teen Titans lineup, which is currently the lineup of Titans comic right now. And that, of course, for everybody that probably knows already, I'm still going to run through it, is Dick Grayson, Robin, or Nightwing, depending on the stage that he is in this, but I do think he's obviously going to be Nightwing. This is a living and breathing DC universe, of course. And then, of course, we have Wonder Girl, Donna Troy, Kid Flash, Wally West, of course, that is actually the Flash. Again, we'll see where we play with that, because obviously if he's not Kid Flash and he is the Flash, he might not be in the Teen Titans, but we'll get there when we get there. Cyborg Victor Stone, Coriander Starfire, Beast Boy Garfield Logan, and of course Raven. And to me, this is the Teen Titans. This is Titans. This is the only team you can do if you're gonna make a live action project involving them. As I said before, I think the other people would be great in a Young Justice, or if you really want to call it Teen Titans Rebirth or Teen Titans a different point, I think that's fine, but I think give it its own name so it can be its own thing, which of course is Young Justice, which is what they are in the comics, so it just makes sense to do that. There are also two characters that run the opportunity to be either in flashbacks of this movie or in sequels of this movie, and that of course is Roy Harper, Red Arrow, or Speedy, as he was known as a sidekick, or Aqualad, again sidekick name, Garth, also known as Tempest. Now, if I can just talk about the plot, what I think the story is going to be of this movie. I think my idea of a perfect Titans movie is very, very similar to Titans Season 2, and some of you might say that's lazy, come up with something original, but the honest truth is Titans Season 2 is very Titans. It's got their all-time best villain and their arch nemesis. That, of course, is Deathstroke, Slade Wilson. I feel like you can't do a Teen Titans movie or Titans movie without doing him as the villain straight off the bat. I just think that's the route you've got to go down. And I do, as much as I love the Titans show, I do think it lacks a lot that a movie could probably make up for with a bigger budget. Also, with James Gunn already explaining, as I've said, this is a living, breathing DC universe. We don't have to do origin stories. We don't have to explain loads of things through hour-long episodes. We're just expecting a lot of people to just jump on and just understand what's going on. And I'd personally love it if we had a flashback to the teen version of this team fighting Deathstroke. I don't think this should be their final fight. I don't think Deathstroke does anything so dark or so deep that they disband. I don't want it to follow Titans, this TV series, in that sort of sense whatsoever. I think they just not grow apart, but they grow older and they want to go separate, go on their own, just to know they can. I don't think they should stop being friends. I think they're always going to be close. That's the point in their team. They're friends and a family above all else, which is what they have over the Justice League. The Justice League, don't get me wrong, compared to the Avengers, are family and they are very close friends. But the Titans will always one-up them because they live together, they care for each other in a different way, and they grew up with each other. It's hard to match that. But yeah, I think they get disbanded, or they just, as I said, they just go and do their own thing. And then the movie picks up after the flashback of Dick Grayson following a couple leads that lead to San Francisco. And that, of course, steers him in the direction of remembering something from their past, or remembering someone from their past, while chasing this string of murders or string of crimes. But realistically, it's Slade Wilson, it's probably going to be a string of murders. And that then forces him to call the team in. Maybe even, if they want to be a little bit corny, maybe there's some sort of reference to the Titans communicators from the show and the comics, just because I feel like a lot of fans that grew up with Titans will love that, so it's fine. Just chuck it in there. It doesn't have to be the circle with the T on it. It can be anything. It just needs to be a little reference. Even if it is just an app on their phone that just resembles it, that's fine. And I think when Dick Grayson does this, especially if it is how I said it is, it's for a communication, whether that be the actual receiver or just something that they used to do in the Teen Titans, that they would all respond pretty fast because it's the old way they used to do stuff, and it's Dick Grayson. They take it very seriously. Then I think we'd pick up with like a minor catch-up. Again, I don't think it'd be anything crazy like, oh, I haven't seen you in years, because they basically work together. Like it's the same as Batman and Superman. They don't work together on every case, but they're basically working in the same office, which is Earth. But they're superheroes. They're in the same line of work. You're gonna run into each other, and above all else, as I said, they're friends. They're gonna hang out. But they've not worked together in a little while, so it's there's adrenaline pumping, there's just excitement to do something together, where they kind of get caught up in it and kind of maybe forget that they're there for a reason. And even Nightwing does, obviously seeing all his friends in Titan's Tower, or just in San Francisco again for the first time in a long time, he maybe just forgets, and then he snaps back into focus and realizes that they are there for a real reason. But yeah, so maybe Nightwing doesn't outright say Deathstroke's the issue, but he shows them the evidence and the clues that he's found, and while going through them together, they all, I'm not saying this would be like hours, this is like within seconds, they all kind of realize that it's Deathstroke, and they realize how serious this has got to be. I think this sort of meetup, even though I said it could be in Teen Titans Tower, I think it should be out of it, because I think them entering Titan's Tower needs to be a moment at some point, or maybe it doesn't exist anymore, so at the end of the movie it's being rebuilt or it's being planned, just because I think that's a key moment for them. I think it'd be a little bit weird for it to be standing the whole time, but then maybe it is also a safe place for all heroes. Maybe it's, if you ever need a safe house, Titan's Tower's there, because some of them are in the Justice League, and some of them are just in the Bat family, and some of them obviously Wonder Woman, like, they're all connected, so then maybe they just let people use it. I'm not too fussed on that, but I do think it needs to be kind of a moment in its own, them going back to Titan's Tower, because it could be really powerful. Well, now I'm not going to get deep into what I think the story is, I just kind of wanted to lay my introduction more than anything, because I just kind of wanted to talk about Teen Titans and the Titans movie, especially right now because there's so many rumors coming out about who the characters are going to be, and I kind of just wanted to put my 2 cents in before anything got outright confirmed. But that is what I would personally like to see in a Titans movie, at least a half script. Casting wise, to be completely honest, I haven't got anyone on the top of my head that I would love to see cast. Now I personally think all the Titans casting is absolutely perfect, but then there were definitely some that I would change just because I think they work good in a series. I don't know how they'd be in a movie. But then also I just want to give other people an opportunity to bring those characters to life. And as much as they're perfect for that show, maybe they're not perfect for James Gunn's version of those characters, which is more than fair enough. Now, before I wrap this video up, I think I should at least talk about Deathstroke a bit more. He, of course, is going to be the villain of this movie. I think with Deathstroke, you have such an opportunity to show the opposite of Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor is going to be in Superman 2025, and he's going to be calculated, he's going to be smart. I don't think he's going to be trying to get his hands dirty. Whereas I'm not saying Deathstroke isn't smart, he's a tactician. He's going to do a lot of stuff to trick the Titans and throw them loose ends, but also we're going to see an outright battle at the end of this, and I think there's going to be a lot of bloodiness and goriness, and so maybe I'm wrong and they won't do this because it's more adult than a Teen Titans movie could be, but I still think that's what Young Justice is for. So you pick that up and you let the Titans have Deathstroke, because that's just right. They finally deserve to have Deathstroke on the big screen as a main villain, and I just think it could be really cool. Again, I don't know who I would cast for Deathstroke. I think Joe Manganiello. I'm going to be completely honest, I can't pronounce his last name, but you all know who I'm talking about. The guy that was cast for the DCEU, Joe Manganiello, is absolutely perfect. Look-wise, the actor in Titans is absolutely perfect, both look-wise and in the role. And then, of course, the actor for Deathstroke in Arrow is perfect. He was the first live-action, well, good live-action Deathstroke, and it's absolutely perfect. I'd love to see a mixture of those three put together. I think the sheer size of the DCEU Deathstroke is just intimidating. I think the suit and the look of the Titans one is much better, and the acting of the Arrowverse one is just phenomenal, and I love to see a merger of those three. I just get really excited talking about the Titans because it's got some of my favourite characters in it. As I've already said multiple times, Nightwing is my favourite comic book character, but then it is slowly chased by the rest of the Titans. Each and every one of them I truly love. I love Donna Troy. I think it can be such a wholesome character when they know what to do with her, which is not very often. But yeah, as I said, I could probably talk about this for ages and just ramble on and on. So I'm going to leave this video here, and I'm going to leave it down to you in the comments to maybe leave any ideas that you would like to see in a Titans movie, or if you would actually like to see a Teen Titans movie that is the main lineup cast but not featuring Dick Grayson, or if you think they should do it but just include Dick Grayson as Nightwing, or whoever you would like to see in a Teen Titans or Titans movie, or if you think like it is a Young Justice movie and there are no Titans in this universe. Just leave it down in the comments and hopefully we can discuss it together. Thank you for tuning in.